What's going on, fellas? Hope you all are doing amazing. Today, I'm gonna walk you through how to factor quadratic equations with a coefficient. There's two different methods. One is just the factoring by grouping as usual, and then the other one is a new slip slide method, which we'll get into in the second equation. So basically, diving straight into it, factoring by grouping is basically the same thing with one additional step, and that is at the beginning we're multiplying this a value, our coefficient of our variable squared, times the c value, our constant. So in this case it is 5 times -1, and then you rewrite your equation as so. We just multiply that 5 over to the -1, giving us -5, and then per usual you just treat this like a normal factoring by grouping problem. I have another video on that if that's confusing to you. You just want a refresher, maybe, whatever it is. Our two numbers that will multiply to give us this -5, yet add to give us this +4, or +5, and then -x. Set aside the parentheses to divide the equation into two parts. Factor out the GCF, being 5x in the first part, -1 in the second part, and then that is your equation. You could check by foiling, but basically that would just give you a 5x squared plus 4x, and then -1. So yeah, sorry, just did that in my head real quick. This is just the typical factoring by grouping. All you need to remember is multiplying this coefficient times this constant. Alright, now for some slip slide method. So basically, starting off, it is actually very similar to factoring by grouping. We're going to want to multiply this a value by this c value, so the 6 by the 2, and then instead of carrying on, we kind of just drop the coefficient. It'll come back into play later, but for now, we multiply that 6 by 2 to give us x squared minus 7x plus 12. And by now, I'm sure you know how to factor this. Just typical factoring by grouping. -4 and -3 are our two lucky numbers. They multiply giving us 12, and then add giving us -7. And then this is where the coefficient comes back into play, where what we want to do is divide both of them by the coefficient, so 6. And a lot of times you will get a number that can either completely divide, so say 4 over 2, that will just be 2, or a number that isn't really divisible, well, without getting into decimals and all that. So say like a 1 over 5 or 2 over 7. In this case, however, both of these can just be simplified, which is what we're going to do. So 4 over 6 can simplify, to become 2 over 3, and then 3 over 6 can simplify to become 1 over 2. And then I'll pick up with the pen here. What happens, the very final step is the denominator moves over to become the coefficient of the x. So our final answer is going to look like 3x minus 2 times 2x minus 1. If you FOIL that out, that will be 6x squared minus 3x minus 4x gives minus 7x, and then plus 2. So yes, this is our final answer, and that is the slip slide method. Final thoughts, I do actually kind of prefer factoring by grouping over the slip slide method. They both take roughly the same time for me, but I've just noticed the first one, the factoring by grouping is always consistent, whether with or without a coefficient. All you need to remember with a coefficient is that it's just do the one multiplying step. But I think the slip slide method is really good. It's just that there's a lot of steps, and I feel like when there's a lot of steps, if you forget one or just mess one up, it's just harder to it's quote unquote less safe in that manner. But if you like the slip slide method, then probably do it, and maybe going down the road I'll do it. There is also another method, but I forgot, in all honesty. So yeah, you guys have the internet, so you could always find that through other ways. I'm kind of just talking here at the end, But yeah, the interesting thing is this really is both these methods are actually kind of just the same, except when I say there's without coefficient, the coefficient's really just 1. But yeah, that's really all you got to know. Hopefully this video helped. If not, ask any questions. Um, Maybe I'll drop another video once I remember the other method, or whatever you guys need help with. I'm happy to help, happy to be here. So yeah, thank you guys very much, and yeah, thank you. Bye bye.